We are really dependent on the network of people who we have had developed over the years, but also dependent on fans who know something we don't. And Osborne, as you mentioned, has been great. When we learned about these radio ads, we found a gentleman in Holland by the name of Willem Cow who had these in even better quality. Because this is all stuff we try to make it sound as good as possible, and sometimes just, when you get a lead, you keep chasing until you find it, which will sure to bring us to another exciting element. The last disc on this set is a live disc. It includes Elvis's performance in Las Vegas in '56. Many of you know them. 4 songs. It was by many standards a failure, and we thought, let's tell the story about Elvis as a live artist in a way that when you listen to it, you get an idea of, just like in the interviews, how Elvis developed. So we have the Little Rock show from May as the next thing, where certainly Elvis is in his right environment, not all the people in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, but the teenagers in Little Rock, Arkansas. And what we really have at the end of that is an 11-song show from December of '55 that has never been released before, and includes rarities as Elvis singing Paralyzed and When My Blue Moon Turns to Gold Again in front of 7,500 people in Shreveport. So there's something that people have never heard. Again, we have to work hard on what is a fairly rough sound, but this is historical, and historical is really a key word in what we try to do with this package. So if we go to the book element of it that Roger has worked on for God knows how long.
Well, before we show you the book, obviously we're limited by we have size here, so I hope you can see the postage stamps we have up here on the stage. But to give you a sort of an idea, obviously when we're reintroducing Elvis Presley to the market on a constant basis, and obviously from time to time we can be accused of overdoing the reissue program with Elvis, but I'd like to think that whenever we do it, and when Sony commit to a commercial release, there's a lot of passion and reason that goes on behind it. And there certainly is with this release, because it would have been very easy just to put out a box set of Elvis's 1956 recordings, a few little pictures in there, and thank you very much. But they really wanted to make a statement with this release, and that's ultimately, at least once or twice a year, what we're trying to do. It's not just about the commercial enterprise, it's also about keeping Elvis's name alive and to make people rediscover how phenomenal it was. And I just think that 1956, as Ernst said earlier, we constantly have to keep reminding people that this is where it's happened, this was the first, and this probably was the greatest moment in rock and roll history. So how this came about was that there was a discussion about recapturing this magic moment in 1956, just a general chat between Ernst, myself and Sony, and you start off with a basic idea and principle, and then it's like, how are we going to make this special from anything we've done before? Well, obviously the first thing you have to start looking around for is add-ons, and it's by way of discovering great music, by rare interviews, and then also by the illustrations of the book and the written word that we can add to it to build it up. But I think one of the great inspirations that we actually got last time we were here, in fact last year, there always needs to be a reason to be, and I think one of our Sony colleagues was walking through the displays up at the House of Graceland and came across this poster, which is probably the rarest poster in the history of pop music, and it's so easy to take this for granted. But didn't know of anybody or anyone that was aware of it, for starters, and I don't know any fan. If there's some out there that have got some of these, then they let me know, because I'll buy them. But it was a revelation, and also the revelation in a very cute way was the naive approach of RCA at the time. It's like, what are we selling? How, the same process we go through now, how do we market this release? And all they could come up with at the time, which actually isn't too bad, is young man with a big beat. And it's innocent, it's naive, but it's fantastic and it's an original. And isn't that just amazing, that poster? So this was the catalyst for us deciding that this box set had to include things that the fans and the people could actually own themselves and that were tangible and give people a part of that magic history that Elvis made. So not only did this become the title of the set, Young Man with the Big B, but this is actually one of the free items that you get completely reproduced as was inside the set when you buy it. So you can all have one of these. Is that good? Yes. So, in addition to the book in the box, which we can whiz through, there's this wonderful small little envelope, and the poster that you've just seen comes in this wonderful envelope with Young Man with the Big Beat. And there's various other historic artifacts that are included with that. This one is the 5th of February from the Mosque Theatre in Richmond, a replica of the original poster, Elvis Presley with the Blue Mooners and the Lubin Brothers. So then you get that poster free as well in this set. Absolutely wonderful, and it's just superb to see it. Great having that sticking up in anyone's bedroom, or wherever you want, I should say. And these are a little bit smaller to handle, but equally compelling. And I should also emphasise that one of the other great things about this job is that Sony and Elvis Presley Enterprise combined at a very early outset to make this the most exciting release ever. And because of that, obviously we were able to access some superb, rare items that not only littered throughout the book, the 80-page book, but are also, provided here. And here's just an incredible item, which is Elvis Presley, the most talked about new personality in the last 10 years of recorded music. RCA Victor, new release, biggest hit yet, Heartbreak Hotel. And this is the original regional order form that was sent out to customers to order Heartbreak Hotel. Quite remarkable really in itself. So there's a copy of that order form. You can still order the record now, by the way, if you want. We can press up Heartbreak Hotel for you. This is very small, but again, if you could imagine wandering around the Venus Room, probably about a month before Elvis got up on stage in Las Vegas, there would have, apart from posters being up on the wall, there would have been these little innocent flyers probably lying around the gambling sections and in people's bedrooms and stuff. And it's just a very small, innocent little thing that, again, what an absolute jewel to have. The Venus Room, Freddie Martin, special attraction, Elvis Presley. I mean, absolutely beautiful, and that's included as a free item in the set as well. There are a few other bits and pieces. We have this letter from Colonel Tom Parker to Coleman Tilley at RCA regarding the transfer and the negotiation for Elvis's contract from RCA Records.
Maybe we should talk a little about the book before we run into a situation where we go over the time we have here on stage. So I'll just show it and you talk a little about it. We have, like we had in the day-by-day group that I did with like a calendar that takes us all through the year that I worked on with Roger, and then Roger's task was just to find illustrations for every date he gave he could. And he took that challenge. So we want to say, the key elements to this.
Yeah, so effectively, obviously, the idea was to create a day-by-day calendar, which is the entire structure for the book, to tell the story as it happened throughout the year, with obviously all the great rare illustrations that we managed to locate, and also rare member of Elia all the way through as well. There in fact is the full page ad for the RCA Victrola machine that we mentioned earlier from Billboard. I mean, hey, it is the most comprehensive history of Elvis in 1956 that there's been to date.
It's 80 pages, so it's full of stuff from tape boxes to billboard clips, right?
Includes photographs from obviously Alfred Wertheimer, who I think you're meeting later on. Again, a great close colleague and friend of ours, but captured some of the most magnificent pictures of Elvis during 1956.
And we have a new fresh photo that we don't think anybody's ever seen. The picture up there is a photo that we discovered recently. It's Elvis on stage in Detroit in May of 1955. There's several of these shots that we couldn't believe our luck when we found them.
It's what's so fantastic about this shot is that all of the people there, the people in the audience, they all look a bit like you do now, you know? Thoroughly excited and having the time of their lives, you know? But the innocence and the joy on the faces and all the truth is it absolutely superb and captures everything that Elvis was about in '56. And the picture actually rolls around right the way around the back of the box set as well. So it really does give the overall image of Elvis being incredibly exciting in '56.
We hope you will like it. We love doing it. All of us at Sony, we're obviously a whole group, just Roger and I get to get on stage, but some of our colleagues around here, they've been great support, as has EPE. You know, we hope we have lived up to your expectations. Thank you very much.